Hi, Rabbi Fischer here, Youngersville of Orange County, and I'm here to comment briefly on the uproar and brouhaha over Elon Musk's arm wave the other day. He's been accused by people on the left of being a Nazi and emulating the Hitler salute. Um, People on the right are mixed. Most people say that's absurd. A couple of people are wondering maybe that was what he did. And so, as always, it devolves on an authentic Jew, an Orthodox rabbi, to stop all the stupid conversations and get people down to reality. The ones that I'm concerned about as an Orthodox Jew are the real anti-Semites. The one that calls herself AOC, Ocasio, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, certain members of the Democrats in the Senate. Those are the ones I'm concerned about. The ones who actually hate Jews or hate Israel, or both, same thing. I'm concerned about the anti-Semites on college campuses who break into classrooms, as just happened today at Columbia University, where a class was disrupted by a bunch of Jew haters who started handing out flyers and attacking Israel. Because understand, when you attack Israel, you're attacking Jews. You might have Bernie Sanders out there. You might have George Soros out there. So I'll say it more clearly. When you attack Israel, you're attacking Jews. It is part and parcel of being Jewish to be in favor of Israel's survival. That's what a Zionist is. A person who believes that Jews have a right to be in the land of Zion, where the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, was. If you're against Israel and Zionism, you're an anti-Semite, by definition. You could be against Netanyahu. I am also. I'm furious that he signed that peace agreement, so to speak, that's going to give up 1,000 murderers. I'm more against Netanyahu right now than the strongest leftist anti-Netanyahu person in an American campus. But I'm a Zionist. I love Israel and America. And anyone who's anti-Zionist, that's an anti-Semite. Elon Musk is pro-Israel. He's a great supporter of Israel and of the Jewish people. To say that his arm wave in any manner, shape, or form represented any kind of affinity with Hitler is so libelous and slanderous that if he weren't so rich already, I'd tell him he should sue. So I briefly am going to comment. Now, I have to warn you, for those who've seen some of my other videos, I am over 70 years old, and I do not know what the heck to do when it comes to high tech. I'm just a yutz. That means most everyone else who puts out a statement on YouTube has a really lovely kind of thing with a professional introduction, a professional end, and when they show pictures on the screen, it just blends in smoothly. They're really good at it. I can't do that when I don't have my 8-year-old grandson next to me. I need an 8-year-old in the house in order to do this right. However, without him, it's going to be a little less pretty. But there used to be 50 years ago a cafeteria in New York that advertised. They were called Horn and Hard Art. I couldn't eat there because I'm not kosher. But they used to say we're not fancy, but we're good. And I'd like you to feel that even though this guy doesn't know how to do YouTube, what he has to say makes sense. So let's get into it real quick. Elon Musk, I don't say it to insult or praise, apparently, according to everything I understand, is somewhere on the autism spectrum. And maybe I've used a politically incorrect term, and well, I guess that I'm glad if I did. But he's somewhere on the spectrum, as I understand it. Maybe that's why he's so brilliant. Maybe that's why I can think outside the box, because he is outside the box. And part of his thing is he has awkward movements. Anyone who has seen him at any public event, when he gets all excited, he's like a geek. He's a geek with personality. He's a geek with genius. And I'm glad he's our geek. As during World War II, Adolf Hitler had Einstein. Didn't appreciate him because he was a Jew and a Zionist. So we got Einstein. And we ended up having atomic bombs. And we ended up winning the war because we were okay having people who were Jewish. Now, Musk, he's a yutz. He's a geek. So if you want to insult him, call him a geek. And watch carefully. Now, again, this is not professionally done. I've just prepared a couple of clips off YouTube. I'm going to play them for you now. Each is like 2-3 minutes max. Here is Musk at the infamous moment. Look what a yutz this guy. Look how he's maneuvered. How he's. And really, he's a yutz.
Making it happen. Thank you.
That's not a Hitler salute. Hitler would extend his arm for a few moments, and Hitler aficionados would extend their arms back. He is putting his hand on his heart. He's saying, love. I feel your love. Here's my love. And oof, here you go. And now he does it for the people behind him, because that much of a showman he is. And instead of them only having his back and not knowing what he was just doing, he's going to turn around and give them the heart and a big oof. It's no Hitler salute. That's an insult to Hitler. Hitler would be, again, Hitler actually practiced building up the strength in his left arm, I believe it was, might have been the right, so that he could hold it out for an extended period of time when he'd be in an open vehicle on a, let's say he'd be in a limousine or something on a motorcade, and that he'd be able to have his arm out the whole time. You don't just pop it out like that. And watch him again. He's a geek.
My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
That's like even more geeky than the Trump dance.
Yes!
That's not a Hitler mood that he's in. He's celebratory. He's having a good time. He's dancing.
For making it happen. Thank you.
Pushing out with all of his might. He's not political there.
My heart goes.
That's not the way you do a Hitler salute. I've seen plenty of Hitler salutes. More than I'd like to have as an Orthodox Jew. Walking down the street to shul on a Saturday morning and having some bastard in a car passing by and sticking out their arms. I know what a Hitler salute looks like. The politicians and the liberals that are just out to attack anything, it's the way that 6-8 years ago, they all called Trump a Nazi. They still do. Trump, who moved the American embassy to Jerusalem and recognized Israeli sovereignty over Jerusalem, over the Golan Heights, and stated through his Secretary of State that Israeli Jewish communities in Judea and Samaria are not illegal unless the Supreme Court of Israel says they are. Trump, who closed down funding of the UNRWA and the United Nations and the PLO, and took the United States out of the Human Rights Council because they're anti-Semitic, and who added Jews to the protections of Title VI so that Jews who face anti-Semitism can sue. I mean, and they call him an anti-Semite. He's got a daughter who's an Orthodox Jew. His grandchildren are Orthodox Jews. His son-in-law is an Orthodox Jew. The absurdity. But you want more from this guy who doesn't know how to do a pretty YouTube? Here we go. You ever see anybody else stick out their arm like that? How's about this one? You ever see that one? Some lady, I assume, called the American Girl. That's a post from Twitter. How's that? You know who she is? She's somebody, you ever hear of the basket of deplorables? Anybody else ever do that? Oh yeah, here's that guy, the Nazi. Now there's a guy who really did hate Jews, does hate Jews, and does hate Israel. UN Security Council Resolution 2334, his going away gift to kick the Jews in Israel one more time. The anti-Semitism that he generated in this country, the destruction and toxic that he brought to the whole country. Well, is that a Nazi salute? You know who he is? Remember that guy? So what it turns out is that there are a whole bunch of people that do that. The Indian, Pocahontas, is that an Indian? Oh, you're not supposed to say Indian, you're supposed to say Native American. Is that an Indian salute? How about this one? You ever see her? Or have you forgotten who she is with the passage of time? How's that salute? That salute. That salute. But nobody calls them Nazis. Many of them are viciously anti-Israel. This one, the Indian, is very anti-Israel. This one, complicated. This one, an anti-Israel bastard. This one, well, with the passage of time, we can forget about her. Just go back to Venn diagrams and coconuts on the head. So it turns out that you're talking about and trying to call an anti-Semite this guy.
But to being somewhat, frankly, naive about this. In the circles that I move, I see almost no anti-Semitism. And you know, there's this old joke, I've got like this one Jewish friend. No, I have like 2/3 of my friends are Jewish, okay? I have twice as many Jewish friends as non-Jewish friends. I'm like Jewish by association. I'm aspirationally Jewish. So I don't, you know, I was like, what are people talking about with this anti-Semitism? Because I never hear it when at dinner conversations. It's like an absurdity, you know, at least in my friend circles. But when, you know, looking at the pro-Hamas rallies in vast numbers that took place in almost every major city in the West, blew my mind. And including on the elite college campuses that are supposed to be, you know, if you're an elite college campus, you're supposed to be enlightened. You're not supposed to be fostering hate.
How bad is that? So bad? How about this? Last one for now, because I'm extending my abilities beyond any possible. Here we go. I think this makes it bigger, and this makes it louder. Or move.
It was certainly been a day, I would say an emotionally difficult day to see the places where people were murdered. I just did a talk
That's the
with
president of Israel.
And I think there's, I mean, obviously there are three things that need to happen in the Gaza situation. I mean, there's no choice but to kill those who insist on murdering civilians.
Now, I prefer that to Biden and Kamala Harris. I prefer that to Ocasio and Rashida Tlaib and all of them, Bernie Sanders and all of that dirt, even Schumer. And I prefer that to what's going on in the college campuses where anti-Semites are running wild, whether at my alma mater, Columbia, or my law school alma mater, UCLA, or the place where I taught for 7 years, UCI, where you have Jew haters running wild and university administrators allow it. And here's this guy, he's saying it, kill those who insist on murdering civilians. Go ahead and kill Hamas. Goodbye me. And beyond that, why don't you teach their kids to stop hating?
No choice. They're not going to change their mind. And then the second thing is to change the education so that a new generation of murderers is not trained to be murderers.
Okay, I'll stop there.
And the third thing, which is also very important, is...
So I'm very grateful for you to being here with me for about 10 minutes or so and taking a good look at the reality. It's a nonstop thing on the left. The mainstream media, the leftists out there in the universities and in the Senate, Democrats, always looking for some cheap shot. A guy a little bit on the autistic scale or spectrum, in a geeky way, extends his arm in joy, showing from his heart, and then they go and they make a Nazi out of him. I'll take him any day over 19 Democrats in the Senate who voted against Israel towards the end of the Biden administration on giving money and ending embargoes. So thanks for being with me, Rabbi Dov Fischer. If you would do so, subscribe to my channel. You'll get these things and you can pass it along to other people who are telling you, hey, did you know that Elon Musk is an anti-Semite? He's not an anti-Semite. Too many Democrats are.